What if your failures were actually preparing you for greatness? What if rejection was not stopping you, but shaping you? And what if I told you a man who failed in business, lost multiple elections, faced depression, still became one of the greatest leaders in history? This is not luck. This is not talent. This is relentless persistence. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln, and by the end of this video, you won't look at failure the same way again. Chapter 1. A Life That Started with Struggle. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a small wooden log cabin in Kentucky. Not a house, not comfort, just survival. His family was poor, extremely poor. His father, Thomas Lincoln, worked as a farmer and carpenter, trying his best to provide, but barely managing. There was no luxury, no safety net, no backup plan. And his mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, she was the emotional strength of the family, kind, intelligent, loving. She didn't give Lincoln money. She gave him something more powerful: values, honesty, kindness, curiosity. But life didn't wait long to test him. Chapter 2. Pain at a Young Age. At just 9 years old, Lincoln lost his mother. Imagine that, a child, still trying to understand the world, suddenly facing loss. That moment changed him. He became quieter, more thoughtful, more aware of life's harsh realities. But here's what most people miss. Pain can either destroy you or define you. For Lincoln, it became fuel. Later, his stepmother, Sarah Bush Johnston, entered his life, and she saw something in him. She supported him, encouraged him to read, and that support changed everything. Chapter 3. The Boy Who Taught Himself. Abraham had less than 1 year of formal education. Let that sink in. Less than 1 year. But he didn't accept that as his limit. Instead, he created his own education. He would walk miles just to borrow books. He read everything he could: history, law, stories, ideas. At night, after hours of physical labor, he would sit by candlelight and read. Not because someone told him to, but because he was hungry to learn. That's the difference. Most people wait for opportunity. Lincoln created it. He didn't say, "I don't have resources." He said, "I will become resourceful." Chapter 4. The Power of Self-Discipline. Think about this. No teacher, no internet, no guidance. Just a boy and his determination. He practiced writing, improved his communication. He observed people. He learned how to think, not just what to think. This is important. Lincoln didn't just gain knowledge, he built thinking ability, and that skill would later make him unstoppable. Chapter 5. Failure After Failure. Now comes the part where most people quit. Lincoln tried business. He failed. He lost money. He went into debt. Then he entered politics, and what happened? He lost. Again, and again, and again. Imagine standing up, putting yourself out there, and getting rejected publicly. Most people would stop, but Lincoln didn't, because he understood something powerful. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Chapter 6. The Battle Within. But Lincoln's challenges weren't just external. He also fought internal battles. He struggled with depression. There were days when everything felt heavy, when hope felt distant. And this is real, because success stories often hide this part, but Lincoln lived it. Yet even in those moments, he didn't give up. He kept moving forward, slowly, painfully, consistently. And that's what real strength looks like. Chapter 7. Building a Name from Nothing. Without a formal law degree, Lincoln decided to become a lawyer. Sounds impossible, right? But he did it. He studied law on his own, passed the bar, and started practicing. But what made him different? It wasn't just knowledge, it was his character. He was honest, clear, relatable. People trusted him. That's why they called him Honest Abe. And in a world full of manipulation, honesty became his superpower. Chapter 8: The Rise in Politics. As Lincoln gained recognition, he stepped deeper into politics, not for fame, not for money, for impact. At that time, America was divided over one major issue, slavery, and Lincoln took a stand. He spoke against it, not aggressively, but logically, powerfully. His debates with Stephen Douglas made people notice him. Even though he lost that election, he gained something bigger, a national voice. Chapter 9: The Breakthrough Moment. In 1860, something incredible happened. Abraham Lincoln, a self-educated, failure-filled small-town man, became the President of the United States. Think about that. From a log cabin to the White House. No shortcuts, no privilege, just persistence. Chapter 10: Leading During Chaos. But success didn't bring comfort. It brought chaos. The country was breaking apart. The Civil War began. People criticized him. Some hated him. Some doubted his decisions. But Lincoln stayed focused. He didn't react emotionally. He led with clarity and courage. Then came a defining moment. Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, a step toward ending slavery, a bold move, a risky move, but the right move, because true leaders don't choose comfort, they choose courage. Chapter 12: The Final Victory. The war slowly came to an end. The nation began to heal. Lincoln was re-elected. People trusted him, believed in him. He had done the impossible. He held a broken nation together. Chapter 13: A Tragic End, a Powerful Legacy. But just when things were getting better, tragedy struck. In 1865, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. His life ended, but his story? It didn't. Because legends don't live in years, they live in impact. Now, let's bring this back to you. A boy with no money, no education, no success at the start, became one of the greatest leaders in history. So ask yourself, what's stopping you? Failure? Rejection? Fear? Lincoln faced all of it and still moved forward. Your past doesn't define you. Your failures don't limit you. Your struggles are not permanent. They are preparation. So keep going, keep learning, keep fighting, because one day your story could inspire millions. If this story changed your mindset, subscribe to Audible Ecstasy, because here we don't just tell stories, we build powerful minds. And remember, the next time you feel like quitting, think of Abraham Lincoln and rise again.